Hi, my name is Wayne Mezitt. I'm the third generation owner of Weston Nurseries, and I just want to show a few tips on pruning rhododendrons. A lot of homeowners have rhododendrons that are too big and overgrown, but they're not really a problem if they're not right out in front of your house. Sometimes an old rhododendron can be turned into an asset by pruning up the bottom branches and making it more grove-like so you can see through them, like we've done with these rhododendrons here. These rhododendrons have been here for 40 or 50 years, and you can see the massive stems on them. All we do here is to take off the branches on the inside. They look more like trees, but they're not really trees. They're definitely a shrub. They're also deer-proof because the deer can't reach up more than 5 feet, and that, in some homes, that's going to be a true advantage. As you can see, there's room underneath it for ferns, and these are woodland peonies and euonymus we've got growing here as a ground cover. So it sort of makes a garden planting in itself that's self-maintaining. These really, with all this dense growth, they don't get a lot of weeds in here. But most of the ones in this climate tend to grow to 10, 12, maybe a little bit bigger in feet in height and width. So here's a big leaf rhododendron. A big leaf because the leaves are 2 or 3 times the size of the lepidote rhododendron, which are considered small leaf, or we call them early rhododendrons. And as you can see, this has just finished blooming. So these are the seed pods ready to form. The flowers have just finished a week or 2 ago. It's a perfect time to cut this back. Actually, it saves a lot of work removing the seed pods too, because that saps a lot of energy from the plant. And it's also, you can also see that this is coming out over the lawn, and this could be in front of your house getting too high. Here in the middle of where it is in the island, the height is not a problem, but reaching out here makes it harder to maintain the lawn, and it's getting even close to the driveway. So what I'm going to do is to cut off this one branch here, and I'll show you the right place to cut it, and you'll see what it looks like, and there's not going to be very much difference. In fact, most people will not even be able to tell that branch has been taken off. What we're doing here is trimming, is to make the plant look better without doing major damage. So I guess you could call it like a haircut. You're doing the maintenance that needs to be done, or that you'd like to have done, in order to maintain it the size that you'd like it to stay. So what I'm doing here is moving up close to where the branches, where the junction of the branches is, and taking off the one branch that I want to remove in order to enable the light to get into the other branches. So here's my cut with a lopping shear. And here's the result. And let's take a look and see what that did out front. So if you look in from here, probably 6 years of growth that I took off of here. It took it back so that these branches that are now down in front of it, that you can see now, are able to get light to them, and they'll fill in and make it so that it's almost unnoticeable by the end of the summer. You can maintain the size or the breadth of a plant pretty easily just by looking at the way it grows and deciding how you want it to look when you're finished with it. The general guideline, if you look at a stem like this, the interval between each of these places where the branches come off is a year. This is another year's growth, as is this. This is the year before that. This branch was back where it originated 7 years ago. If you look at where this branch came off in here, it looks like a big chunk at one time, but right where I did that cut, there are 4 other branches that are still alive and ready to grow, ready to spread out, and some of them will throw buds off of the sides of them as well. And you don't want, you can see this is beginning to reach out the same way the other one, the bigger one was, but this one's only 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, not 7. Let's just take off 4 years here instead of 7 and see what that looks like. You can't even see that. See, I just took 4 years of growth off of that, which is about almost, well, it's 3 feet at least. And if you look where the branch was, it's now moved back a little bit. But for a large rhododendron like this, so after it finishes flowering, it wants to set seed, and each of these little tips here where it got pollinated will become a seed pod. You can see the flowers are gone. Here's the pistil right there. And each of these, if it was pollinated, will become a seed pod. A plant uses a lot of energy forming seed. So a lot of people say the best way to help a plant grow best is to take these off. You just sort of twist them with your fingers and they pop off, and you drop them on the ground because they disappear into the mulch. They actually look like mulch. And the second thing that deadheading does, and this is what most people are worried about, is the appearance. Because after, you can see these already look a little bit tired, a little bit worn out, and they're all brown. They don't have the same color that the nice pink flower was a few weeks ago. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a few of the things, a few of the tips that I've given on pruning rhododendrons. If you like this type of thing, why don't you subscribe to our channel? You can see a lot of educational videos that discuss issues of importance, interest. It's easy. Just sign on and sign up.